I don't have to be right. And I don't have to have all the answers. I'm completely okay with knowing that I have certain perspectives and beliefs and views that may not be right. That I may not really fully understand or have all the answers. I'm okay living my life that way. And I think what I just said is probably disturbing for a lot of people who've made it through the first 30 seconds of this video. They're thinking, no way, that's weird. How could you be okay with not being right all the time? Don't you want to be right? Isn't that important to you? Isn't it important to you to know the truth and to know what all the answers are? My response is, we can't. We all have our own perspectives and of what we think truth and reality is. But when it really comes down to it, there's so much about life and the universe and even ourselves that we can't actually understand. We form a hypothesis, or we accept the traditions and culture handed down to us, and we go with that, and that becomes our norm, and we become comfortable with it. People like me, I'm good with what I believe, and I don't have to be right. I don't have to have all the answers. I'm comfortable with knowing that that's how the world operates. There's no way to be right about everything. It just becomes something becomes your belief or perspective doesn't mean it's right. No matter how much you believe it, it doesn't mean that it's right. It's like this. People who would say, well, don't you think if I were wrong, I would know it? And the answer is obviously, of course you wouldn't. Why would you continue to believe something that you knew was wrong? For me, it's a different version of that. It is, I may be wrong, but I feel comfortable in knowing that I may be wrong because I may be right, and I feel comfortable with it. And I don't have any reason why I need to argue with anyone about my beliefs. One of my life philosophies is never argue with another person about life philosophies. I'm happy to discuss them, but the moment it the least little bit feels like a debate or argument, I'm out of here. I'm gone. It doesn't matter to me. When I really think about it, of all the things I believe, I can't think of anything that gets me angry or emotional. If I felt that passionately about it, I would leave, because I already know about identity protective cognition. That when someone has an opposing belief and they start talking to you and they're saying the opposite of what you believe, it only reinforces what you already believe. It's not effective. I know how that works. And I think what happens, especially with high conflict personalities, is people, they need to be right. And I don't need to be right. I don't. And I'm okay with understanding that I'm not going to have all the answers. I'll give you a personal point here. When it comes to my Christian beliefs, I think it's all in how we perceive the words. I have my Christian faith and my Christian beliefs. If you were to ask me, but do you know that God is real? Do you know that the Bible is real? Do you know that Jesus really is the Son of God? Do you know? Probably my immediate answer is yes, I know it in my mind, because one of the things I believe about people is anything you believe is true in your mind. If you believe it in your mind, it's true. And it takes a lot, if anything, to get a person to stop believing something that they strongly believe. So I believe it. So in my mind, I know it as a fact. But ultimately, the real word I should be using is believe. I believe in Christianity. I believe in the Christian faith. I believe those things to be true. Can I know them? There's a lot of things in life that we think we know that we don't know. There's a lot of times we're misled about information, about science, about history, about our government, whatever it is. We know things, but it may not even be that accurate. But even in my own faith, there's things I can't understand in this lifetime. And I'm okay with that. And I think a lot of people can't get there when it comes to the religion or the Christian faith. They're not okay with not having all the answers. They need to depend on human understanding for everything. And for me, what if in the end I'm wrong? Well, at least I live my life not having to be in a debate mode all the time, trying to argue with people that they're wrong. You know, for me, I'm comfortable with living in this box that I live in this version of reality that I live in. I don't have all the answers and I don't need to be right. But I think it definitely reflects a lot about a person if they do need to be right. To me, that goes back to high conflict personality. If you need to be right, I think it actually reflects what's going on in here. And that is that you have a need to prove yourself, that you're searching for people's respect, that you're searching still for your own identity when you're that eager to prove other people wrong because what you think is what you believe is the right thing. If you go around living your life thinking that you have to be right and that you have to have all the answers, to me that just doesn't sound like fun. It seems like that would be very exhausting. So I don't live in that world. But I think this is a very interesting topic. And I think hopefully you've seen that reflected in my videos. I don't get all emotional and angry about stuff. If I did, I would just leave the conversation if it bothered me that much. But it doesn't, because I don't get caught up in trying to convince other people against their beliefs. And to me, it even goes back to what I've mentioned before. When I was a teacher those 2 summers in Thailand, I learned about Buddhist culture. And one of the things that really stood out to me is people don't get in heated debates and arguments over there, because if they did, it's understood that no matter what the debate is, you instantly lose the moment you get angry and emotional and curse the person out or whatever you do. You lose. Even if you're wrong, even if you're right about the actual thing, the way the audience sees it, the way the culture sees it, you've already lost. Because if you can't keep your cool and you can't control your own emotions, you've already lost. That's how it works over there. And I apparently carried that with me from when I was over there. Let's discuss this right here.